Just getting set up here. Okay. Wanted to see if I can play some music that's just in my ears without sending it out. I think I can. Hey Joey, hey Matthew. Okay. So no one should be hearing the music. Hey Andrea. All right, so we're going to, hey Jens, we're going to look at Brandon at the new-ish plugin from Verbb called Vizy. And the idea here, if you haven't seen it yet, is this combination of a WYSIWYG editor kind of with block functionality. I don't know what this would compare to in other systems, but if you go to verbb.io, click on Vizy, this whole editor here is, oh, okay, Matt, okay, Matt, thanks. Try to be. Hey, Andrew is there as well. I think Andrew is the official heckler on behalf of Josh Crawford, who's the developer behind Vizy. I think he's the only developer. Is Josh like all of Verbb? Hey, Caroline. I don't actually know. So anyway, so Vizy gives you this rich text editor and then the ability to do blocks. And is it Vizy as in fizzy? I don't know. It might be Vizy. Who knows? And if you can play with this on the site, and then you can see what the preview's like. And one really nice thing is that all the data that you store in a Visi field in an entry and is stored as JSON and then retrieved as JSON. This is just showing that. So I haven't used Vizy a ton. So this is maybe 50% or less than 50% tutorial, but also more me just showing this kind of a first look. And what I want to build or rebuild is I have this Teams page. It's a landing page for the Teams feature on CraftQuest. And right now it's a completely static, it's a twig template, but it's just all static. There's nothing dynamic happening here other than just, some extends tags and stuff like that in Twig, but I'm not really pulling any data out of Craft. So I was thinking of what I could use for Vizy, and I decided that I wanted to try to do this since it's kind of contained, it's not a ton of stuff, and it's not something where I have to migrate content or something. Like if I wanted to redo the article section of the site, it's a little bit of a bigger lift. All right. So that's what we're going to do. I got the chat going up here on my other screen if I'm watching everyone. Andrew says that Statamic has a similar long-form content field. That's a good way of long-form content field. I want to say I haven't done a lot with WordPress, but it feels like people in that world like the visual. So Vizy. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, visual is to Vizy as Australian is to Aussie. Got it. Soft eye. All right. Thank you, Brandon. I don't remember where I was, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started. We don't need that. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is just create a feature branch. I like to use Tower. Seems to be pretty straightforward. Teams, landing page, Vizy, call it. VZ. You guys are going to get me all like sidetracked on the pronunciation. It's VZ as in breezy. VZ as in TV. VZ. Vizy. Okay. I'm calling it Vizy. All right. So we got our feature branch. So we're good to go there. All checked out right here. So then let's go ahead and add it to the project. And I believe the package name, I actually don't remember, is Verbb Vizy. So I'm also going to be using another Verbb plugin on this. Just by chance, it wasn't planned. It's his icon picker. Because I wanted to add in support for like each of these is going to be like a feature. I'm actually going to build this as this one as a matrix field, I believe, inside of Vizy as I get busy. So I'm going to use his plugin for that too. All right, so that's done. So we'll do Nitro Craft. Now I never remember which one is deprecated. If it's install plugin or plugin install, but we'll find out. I guess that worked. All right, cool. So we should have that up and running now. So if I go into my settings, yeah, matrix inside of Vizy. So it's all the way at the bottom here. There we are. Installed, good to go. I'm just running the trial, obviously, before I deploy this to production, which I won't do here live. It will be paid for. Let's see. So let's go ahead and create the field, and actually need to create the section as well. So I'm going to go back up to my sections here. And I don't have a landing page section, so I'm going to do that since I have a need for more landing pages. So let's call landing pages. I'm going to make it a structure. Don't mind this other site. That's some legacy stuff that I have yet to fix. Just pull up my notes here. Anyone else use Obsidian? Any Obsidian users around here? Let's see. So landing pages. Sorry about that. So we'll just make it, the entry URI format is just going to be the slug. And then this is fine here for that. I don't care about max levels. I think that's all good. Save and edit. All right. So for the entry types, right now I'm just going to have a single entry type. Landing pages is the great use case for multiple entry types. I'm just going to keep it simple. I didn't architect this out. I kind of went by the seat of my pants on it. So here's where I'm going to create a, I'm going to add the Visi field. All right, so let's go and add that in. And I got this screen set to a huge resolution. I'm not used to it. So we'll create a new group. And then we'll create our Visi field. Okay, so this is where we do our block configuration. So this is going to be the main field that is going to control everything from this little tagline all the way down to the bottom. Excluding the title, that's just going to be the title field. And then, of course, the rest of it, the minimal header for the landing page and the footer are just from the layout template. But everything else is going to be, oh good, I'm glad it looks good, Andrew. Thanks for the help with that, by the way. So let's see. Landing pages. We're going to go with just defaults for right now. And then we're going to add, let's go ahead. Actually, you know, I'm going to save this before I forget. And I'm going to go back into, let me just open up another tab a little bit easier. I'm going to go back into the section. I'm just going to find my, so we'll use this title field that we get by default. And this is what the layout will look like here. So we got that, so that's done. The only thing, so if I go to my landing pages, take a look how that looks kind of out of the box. You can see, so this is the Visi field here. I just have the base toolbar. And since there's no blocks defined, we don't get that little, usually there's this little plus button that appears that you can click to add a new block. We don't get that because we don't have any, but it's still a functioning field. So let's go back in here. So the first thing I want to build out is a, let's see, we'll create a group. All right, so groups are just ways of organizing blocks. So you can order, like if you had a group of different feature modules or buttons or video embeds or call out boxes, you could put those into groups. So it's easier for the content editors to access them and know where to grab them. So all of my groups for this build are just going to have a single block in them, just because this is my first go at it. But we'll start with a copy group, which is kind of a lame name, but we'll start there. And we're going to add in the a tagline, and that's going to be for this right here. The idea being that every landing page is going to have a headline and then some sort of tagline, and then from there you can or multiple taglines. And then from there, you can add in the different blocks as you need. All right. So tagline. Oh yeah, so icon. So every block can have an icon, and the icon is just for internal purposes. And they loaded in, I think it's Font Awesome. I can't remember the icons that they used, but you can just find something that you want. I use just like an H, I think, for mine. Like headline. Yeah, here's Font Awesome. And they have the brand ones. I just use that. I don't know. And then we're kind of getting into like some of the, what I think are the cool parts of Vizy, which is the template partial for rendering the block type. So I have a course that I just recently redid earlier this year on flexible twig templating in Craft. And Anthony Colangelo is the one that originally authored that, where you conditionally render different fields based on the handle, and then everything, the naming convention is that each field has its own template as well. And then you can just kind of conditionally render, and then you have fallbacks and stuff like that. So you can do it that method with Vizy, but they also provide a way of defining a template for just this tagline. And so that's what we're going to do. So this is where I'm actually curious for people's feedback. This is where I get a little of a cart before the horse type of thing, where like, do you guys go in and, I don't know what my template's going to be until I create the field. When I teach this, I kind of bop around and go in and create the template. So it's not required, so I can leave it blank right now. But this tagline is going to have its own template. And then it's also going to have a field. And I don't think I have just like a plain text field here, but that's what I want it to be. So let me go in. And in my landing pages, I'm just going to create the fields in there. I want to reorganize those out into their own group of like content fields. It's one of the things that Vizy was forcing me to do when you start creating these like real rich content organizations. So I just want to do let's call this. I don't know. Simple content is fine for now. What did I call it in my? Just want to see something real quick. Well, I called it Tagline. It's kind of a crappy name. Let's just do it though, because so plain text. We'll leave everything kind of default for right now. No line breaks. We'll save that. Hello, John Morton. Andrew's feedback is model your data first, then write the template to present the data. Yeah, totally. One of the things I struggle with is that I'm going to have to redo this, is that what did I call it? Copy. Oops. All right, here we go. I'm not doing tabbed layout here, so I'm just going to keep it real simple. And so there's our first block. Let me save this. If we go over into our trees. Let's open that here. Just want to kind of keep tabs on what it looks like as I'm building it. So now you can see we get this plus here. And, you know, if I had a lot of blocks, I could search for them. And if you're building real complex layouts for landing pages, articles, things that like a marketing team would handle, then I could see searching being needed. So click that, then I can add the tagline like this. So I would just grab this, paste that in, and there's my tagline. I'll just save it as a draft without a title. For the title, I'm just going to use the name here, CraftQuest for Teams, since that's the name of the page. All right, so we'll save that and go back in and look at what we're going to do next. So we have our tagline. The next thing is the set of features that I have right here. And I built that in a field called features list. Yeah, Matt, I was actually thinking about that. I think I have a note somewhere from it about what it would take to do rendered previews on each block type. I think that would be kind of cool. Or I think Andrew and I did something like this with rendering twig in the publish form. You can give like a preview of what a block type would look like. I think there's all sorts of things you can do. I think when you have a lot of block types, it gets hard to understand for the end user, the content editor, to understand what this block type will look like when they use it. Obviously, preview can help with that. Yep, totally agree about it'll be useful for visually oriented people for sure. So I'm going to create a new field. This one's going to be called feature list. And feature list is let's see. Let me just look real quick. Yeah, so I made it a matrix. So this is a feature. And then the first field for a feature list is going to be the feature name. And I think plain text is good for that. And then we'll have feature description. And then the feature icon. And I'm going to leave that plain text because what I realized is that I wanted to use the same icons that I have here. And these are heroicons or hero icons, depending on your pronunciation. And I wanted to use these same ones in a field and just have like a picker, like we do for choosing the block icons. So I'm going to just leave it plain text and fix that in a second. All right, so let's see. I don't think he was a fan of us rendering an entire format. Yeah, I agree, Andrew. What did I do? I'm gonna give, about the rendering the page. Sorry. I'm reading the chat backwards. That was a little confusing. Yeah. I may be giving Brandon a heart attack about my popping around editing all this stuff, but Vizy is really new to me, so I'm still kind of finding my way. All right, so let's add another group. And this one is going to be for the features. And I could see myself having like a different ways of presenting a features list. There's this, this view that I have with the icon and then the name and then a little description. There could be all sorts of different ways. So I'll just treat it like that. So we'll just call this group features, and then the block we'll call features list, and then an icon. We'll just use a list like that. We'll come back to the template and we'll create a tab and then search the fields for feature list and then save that. There we are. So now if I come back here, click on this. Now here versus nowhere. Yeah, I mean, English is terrible with pronunciations. Every language has, what is it? I just learned this because I have a daughter finishing 4th grade, so I'm relearning basic English. Is it homonyms? They're the ones that are spelled the same but pronounced differently, like read, read, or is that, I can't remember. Anyway, English is exceedingly difficult for non-English speakers to learn because of the rule breaking that happens. Okay, let's see. It's one of the reasons I liked learning German, is because it was very structured and they didn't pronounce the same word 19 times. Although the having an umlaut or not an umlaut on a U will obviously change the meaning of a word. So here's our features list. So then I can add a feature here. The only thing we're missing is the icon. So I'm going to address that now. So we have that all set up since that requires a new plugin. Yeah, Caroline, I agree about the icon chooser. I think it's a nice touch. Just visually representing things. And you can load your own icons as well. So if you had a custom set, an internal set, you could load those as well. In the documentation, whoa. Icon, yeah. You can specify your icon path and then drop in other collections in there as well. I think we're used to Verbb creating really, really nicely polished plugins. So all of the bells and whistles are here. Okay, so for these icons, I want to use the heroicons, which are here. Yes, the icons are purely in the control panel, but I'm going to, just to make it more confusing, I'm going to create my own icon picker, which is going to choose the icons that appear here. Okay, so heroicons. So these, I had to kind of search around to find them, and now I wonder if I lost the URL. Let's see. So I need to install the icon picker plugin. So it's going to be Verbb, I think it's icon picker, like that, I believe. If not, we'll find out. There we are. gonna ignore my warning. It's plug install icon picker. So this gives us a nice little icon picker field. And I believe I need to create a new, where's my, oh my gosh. That's wild. Well, I can't see it on my screen, but I see it on the share. Whoa. Here, we'll just do it from here. There we go. All right, so I need to create an icon picker config file. And let me find that again here, what he wants me to put in there. I always forget. Icon picker, here it is. Matt says, personally, would asset bucket icons limit to SVG types and use an assets field for that? Yeah, but check. I kind of agree, but I really like the UX of the icon picker. I think it's superior to the assets. And icons, I think they're okay to store with your project. So you see, it's just the same UI that, I mean, it's basically the same UI that I just used to pick the CP icons. I just wanted to see what the config file needs to be. I don't remember off the top of my head. Here we are. Yeah, this right here. So I'm just going to copy that because lazy. So web root icons, icon sets URL, that's good. I don't know where that's from. Let's get rid of that. All right, that all looks good. So then in my web root, I'll create a, it's so funny, I can't see that extra slide out here on my second screen. So we'll do a new directory called icons. Huh. Well, look at that. Aren't you fancy, Mr. Icons? Oh, they're already in there. Oh, I guess I added them and they didn't get removed. All right, perfect. So they're heroicons right there. So now we can use that field in the features list. Bum, bum, bum. And clickety click, icon picker. There it is. So you can see available. So this is another Verbb plugin, but you can see that the available icon sets, it found it at /heroicons. I'm just going to say all. You can also load remote ones. I could load all font awesomes. I don't want those. I want, I don't want to say my design direction here because I would be giving CraftQuest a lot of credit. I'm just using heroicons for this. So that's it. All right, so we can save that. And then we're able to go back into our entry here and just reload, pick up that new field. So here's the, oh, interesting, it's not. All right, let's do this. Let's remove it. It's okay. Actually, let's try it again. Come on. Get an error? Huh. Let me just delete it. So add a feature. Interesting. Why no icon? So the icons are there. It found them. Slash icons. That's all right. Let me just delete this whole thing. Just rebuild it here. All right, so let's try it again. Features list, add a feature. Yeah. So just take a look here. Icon picture icons. I'd want to see what web and web root are resolving to. Good idea, Andrew. System utilities. System report. So app web, so that's right. Both of those look right to me. Let me just look real quick. Oh, there's no icons in there. All right, hang tight. We will fix that. All right. There we are. Of course, it can't find anything. Of course, it did an error because there aren't any. Now. All right. Let's try that again. Let me go back and just double check my settings. Actually, here, me. icon picker, available sets. Available. So that all looks good. I'm actually going to make this field required as well while I'm here. Hello, Christopher. Thanks for joining us. Any experience with Vizy? A couple days, but you get to watch me. So Andrew says, are the icons, they need to be in the root directory? They don't, because in the settings for the feature list for the field, it does find them here under Heroicons. I wonder if it's not finding them in the subdirectories. I wonder if, so they're in like these two, they're in solid and outline. That's what I'm not sure about. This wasn't a problem yesterday, so let's see. Features list, add a new feature. There we are, we got it. All right. Good deal. So now we may continue. So here we are. So I built this as a matrix field, and so I built it as a matrix field because I want to be able to have multiple, one or more of the features that are going to appear here. So this is what we're building right now for anyone that's joined in the last few minutes while I was debugging icons. So I want to have, there could be 2 here, there could be 4. So I wanted to build that out. So I decided for a matrix field for that. And that seemed to work out pretty well. All right, so let's just create a feature real quick. I'm just gonna kind of populate this as I go. I'll just do 1 right now just to get some content in there. So feature name, description, and then the icon is the credit card. And it's the outline. So you can see it's pulling in both outline and the, what is it called? Filled, whatever, the solid. There we are. And then we can add multiple features. We'll just add 1 for right now. All right, let's save that and then move on to other content types here. So we have the title by default, we have the tagline, and we just created our feature field and I added 1 feature. Now I want to do a button, so a call to action button. So for that, I could envision us having, at some point, multiple buttons with different treatments. And so I'm going to create a group called buttons and then just have like a primary CTA button. You can go back and forth between whether you want to have a style toggle with a button saying this is primary or secondary, or you can just have different blocks for each of the type of buttons. I think if you start getting too fiddly with the settings of a field, it can cause confusion. So that's not what I wanted to do, but that'll be fine. All right. So we'll add a new group. We're going to call it buttons. So we're back in Vizy, Vizy, however they pronounce it. And this one we're going to call the primary CTA button. Sound good? Think marketing will like that? Probably not. What icon can I use for a button? Oh, I had a good one, a carrot. Okay, and then the template, we're gonna come back and do the templates in a few minutes. But I am gonna use a separate template for each of the blocks in Vizy. And this is kind of this template rendering per block and the storage of the Visi Field content as JSON is sort of like the two big differentiators between Vizy and other tools. So for this, I need to have a field to go with it. So then, like down here, we're working basically in craft fields. What did I decide to do for buttons? So I did a table, I believe. Which is interesting. What do you guys use for buttons? What do you use for buttons? Anything? You have to give a UI to create a button. Curious what everyone uses. But I am going to use a... Didn't mean to close that earlier. But I don't think I have one yet. I'm going to go into my landing pages. So I'm kind of creating all new fields for this. So we're just going to have a field just called CTA button because this has specific attributes where I want to control URL, the style of it, and the label. So we're going to call it that. And I believe I used the table. So I wonder what everyone else likes to use. And let me just pull up my little cheat sheet here for this. So I just used a label and a URL this time. All right. So keeping it super simple, it's just going to be the label and the button. Attributes probably isn't a good word. It's kind of software-y. I think that's it. Let's save that. If I go into here, I'm going to load my layout. So that's available. Didn't save this, but we'll just add this in. And now we have our primary CTA button. I'm going to save that. If I go back to my entry, I think I have this saved. I'll just save it just in case. Reload, just to be able to pull in my new block, primary CTA button. Click on that, and now I can create a button. Joe says, I usually use super table, so then I can have a button link to an entry or an external URL. Yeah, I guess I could have one of those. Let's see. That's a good idea. I guess you can't use entries here. I forgot about that. Yep. Good call. I tend to actually just like this here. I just like to write in exactly where it goes. You can see this one, when you click on this, it brings you to the URL with a parameter in it. So I just always just type it, but it's me. Okay. Let's see, where were we? Oh yeah, here. button. All right, let's create a little primary call to action button. And it's going to be get a team plan. And we'll copy the link here and we'll just create this. There we are. So that's the button URL. I just made it min1, max1 and updated the label. The column type is fine, super small. There we are. Andrew says for buttons, link it or typed link fields are the way to go. I have used neither of those, so I'll try those. Yeah, Joe says this way a content creator doesn't have to figure out the URL for an entry. Totally agree. One of the things I like in Redactor is where you can link either to an external URL or just to an entry ID. That can hurt you sometimes if those references change. Let's see. So I thought I saved that. What did I do? All right, so let's save that. So now we have our here we are. Okay, so now we have our button. So far we've done this, 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 and then get a team plan. So the only thing I would say about using, I mean, I've already used like the icon picker plugin. So at some point you're just, you have to pick and choose like how many fields you want to use, is that the table plugin is, or the table field type is first party. So I know it wouldn't ever go away. And if it does, there would be a migration path elsewhere. All right, so this is a video. So this, play this, and it has a little promo video. So I need to have a way of embedding video. And I already have a plugin for that, which I'm just going to reuse. So I should be able to use, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to create a generic one for right now. Just for the landing page. So this is using the video plugin, the video field type from Duct, D-U-K-T. And it's how I render all the videos on CraftQuest out of Vimeo. Really straightforward. I guess I already had one. So let me back out of this. Let's see. So I'm going to add a group. And this one, so I called this one videos. Again, thinking I might have different treatments for videos, different modules. This one's a video embed. So for the icon, I'll just do, that kind of looks, it says photo video, I think that's fine. And then here we'll just do videos and then add. So it said I had one. I didn't think I did. Oh, I do. Let me see if that. Well, let's take a look. All right, so let's get that in here. get our little plus button. See what this gives me. Oh, okay, perfect. So I did have one. I'm happy with past Ryan. So here, I really like this field type. It basically connects to the YouTube or Vimeo API and pulls in all sorts of metadata about the video. So if I go, let me just go grab a video real quick. I can actually probably just grab the one from the template that I have. So if I go to Teams, where's my... Just wrap that so it's easier to see. So this is the original template here. Here it is. I just need this. And I should be able to drop in the video. Yep. Okay. So you just drop in the Vimeo URL and then it goes and fetches it. And it gives you a nice preview here. You can actually play it in this in the edit view as well. Gives you some stats. All right, so now I have a video, and you know I'm creating these in the order that they are here on the page. So everything is kind of where is it? Everything is already kind of laid out, but you know the idea, right, is that you can reorganize these. And the difference here is that I have a matrix here, and inside of all of these, like down here, you can also write, you know, freeform content. And then I can move this down here, and I can have freeform. So this doesn't require being in a block like you would with like a matrix where we did, you know, that original idea with matrix where we had the multiple, you know, the complex layouts. So this has, it calls these nodes. So a paragraph inside of this base rich text editor here for Vizy, this paragraph or this this paragraph is a node. If I did a bullet list like this, we'll just have a misspelling. The UL element here would be a node. So it's breaking those down into nodes as well. And then you can actually access each of the nodes individually. And if you look at the Vizy page here, here you go. Here's like an ordered list. And you can access that if you look at the JSON. Let's see. Yeah, so here's content, type, paragraph. And these would all be individual nodes that you can access. You can find that one. Here's a list item. So you can access all of these separately. So I think it's kind of cool to get access to those different nodes. Where's there it is. Separately, and then you can, you can write copy prose in between the different modules and then come in and add another module. This is only one thing that I found is that if there's no space down here, I can't get to the plus button. So that's one thing I need to let Josh know about. So if I add a space, I can get that to that now. So then I can add, like another features list down here below the copy, and then you can move it around. So that's one thing that's a differentiator between this and other fields like this. I'm going to remove that and all of this. Okay, so let's keep building here. We got the video, and then I have this little call out box as well. So I'm going to build that. Let me just pull up my notes in Obsidian. So call out boxes are going to have their own block, and then the what did I make that thing? Maybe a table. Call box with image. All right, let's take a look here. We'll decide. You can always think it's a table. Headline text, rich text. I don't remember what I did for it. But the idea is that I wanted to break it up into this being its own field, this here, so we can control the headline of the box, the copy, and it has this image that's kind of set into it off to the right. So so there's those three pieces of content that I need to deal with. All right. So I'm gonna need a new field for that. So this, we can start here actually, since trying to think. What I did. Tagline. Let's see. Pull up the chat real quick. So Andrew says every paragraph is a block. Node block are the same thing here. Oh, interesting. I thought node was the non-block thing, but I'm sure you're right. But it makes sense in terms of the data. Let's see. Just want to see something real quick. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's all in the content table. And we can. I can just pull that up real quick here. You can see here's the. This is what's stored here in the content table. So I can just look at it raw. There we go. All right. So now I got it. Call out box with image. Oh, okay. So I made 3 different fields for this. So what I started doing when I was working on this is I realized I had to revisit some of the older fields I had, and I was going to use this opportunity to rebuild some core fields. So I created one called image. All right, Matt, thanks. This will be up on the site on YouTube. So check it out. Thanks for hanging out. I got to keep an eye on the time too, because I do have a thing in 50 minutes 50. So this is taking longer than I thought as I'm meandering around here. So this will be a asset. And we'll just save that. And then, so what I've done here is I'm starting to create just some basic like content fields that can be reused. And yeah. That's right. Yep. Full time on staff. Thanks for that, Caroline. I appreciate that because we haven't even gotten to the template stuff yet, but it actually goes pretty quickly, and I'll do a lot of copy pasta here on the once we get to the template stuff, since it's all just some Tailwind stuff, so it's pretty simple. All right, so we're going to have another template, another field for the headline for the box. So as I started doing this, I realized like, oh, I should have a generic field that's just for like headlines and so forth, so I can reuse them. So we're just going to call this headline text and make it plain text. And now I'm going to go into my Visi field, add a new group called, I'm just calling these call out boxes. The idea being that I could have 10 of these at some point for all my internet marketing landing pages. So we're going to call this call out box. This one's going to be with an image For the icon, I think I used like a newspaper. We'll get back to that. Create a tab. And then for the field, it's going to be the headline. I'm curious on people's feedback on the fields. That's one of those places where I choose a path and go, because I could whiteboard like all the different options for how to structure the fields. Let's see. So rich text and then image. All right, so I'm going to edit these, and this is going to be called the box headline. I'm just going to skip over instructions. Obviously you want to make sure these are going to be the copy. And then this will be the box image. And if I had specific instructions, I would have those there. All right. Let's save that. Excellent. So I'm going to reload here and let's see. I can't get my little plus button. There we go. I got it. Okay. Let me move these. Seems like I need a little bit of space there for that to appear. So call out box with image. Gonna have the box headline. Questions about team plans. The copy itself. Oh, isn't that fun? And then an image. I think I might have it already up here. Let's see. I can make Ben Croker the image. Let's see. So I don't know where that is now. Let's find it here real quick. This one. Dun, 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 dun. Went to a choir concert last night for my daughter's school. And, oh, it's already there. Okay, I just couldn't find it. And they sang Africa. Like a cappella. It's kind of interesting. If it's already there. I'm already committed. All right, let's just add it here. Team. What's going on with my local thing here? Let me just save this. Something's up. I think there it is. Okay. All right, so now we have all the content for the landing page. Congratulations, Ryan. That only took you 1 hour and 20 minutes. The only thing I don't have is I only have one of these features, but that's okay. Easy enough to add additional ones. So the next thing I want to do is the templates, because this is an important thing to demonstrate. So in each of the blocks, you have the ability to provide a path to a template partial for the block type. So for tagline, features list, the CTA button, and the video embed, they're each going to have their own template. And then when you use the automatic rendering in Vizy, you can just call, I forget what the method is, render all or something like that. It'll actually just then call those templates and render those twig templates automatically for you. You don't have to do the switch statement or the conditionals, the check. You can fully take over and do it manually like you would with something like Matrix, or you can just have it render it for you automatically. And that's what I'm doing here, just as one way to try this out. So let's create the setup here. So what I'm going to do is in my templates directory, I'm creating a new directory called landing pages. This is going to be the holding directory for all landing page related templates. And then I'm also going to create a directory inside of there for the Vizy templates. And I just named this Vizy templates for now, just so it was easy for me to reference. And these would never be called individually on their own. So I'm using the underscore. And then inside of here is where I'm going to create all of the templates, and then one template for each of the different block types. I also want to create a entry template here. And it is going to look like this. Just wrap that so you can see everything. So I'm just extending my basic layout that I have already. For the landing pages, I'm just rendering some SEO-matic stuff. I'm actually going to landing page content. That. Let me just comment this out because it might break. Actually, no, it shouldn't. And then for my content, then also here, I'm just using blocks to override the nav bar block, the search box block, and the utility nav block. And that gives me this simplified landing page header. So where you can still get to the home page from here, but it just reduces some of the clutter, the visual clutter here. And then I just have my content block and this is still a bit of a mishmash of the old Bootstrap layout and Tailwind. As I'm working on things, I'm converting over to Tailwind a little bit at a time. And because of that, I'm using a TW prefix for all my Tailwind classes because there are some collisions. So I'm in TW prefix land, which isn't super fun, but once I do a full conversion, nothing a regex couldn't fix for me down the road. And yeah, and then this is just the H1 right here. So this is just the entry title of the landing page. And that is this right here. We're not handling that in Vizy at all. It's just the entry field. I'm sorry, the title field. And then to render the contents, we use entry, since that's the context we're in, the name of the field, landing page content, and then render HTML is the method we use to tell Vizy to do it automatically. So it goes through all of the blocks that it finds in this Visi field, and then renders them, and then calls the individual Visi templates that you've defined along with each block. And then calls those templates, and of course, renders everything. You can learn more about that if you go into Visi to rendering content under template guides. There's the automatic rendering approach. And that's what I'm following here. You can also do manual render, where you can loop over all of the nodes or blocks here, and then handle them by type and handle, and then have full control over your content. There is a reason you might want to do the manual render, and I'll talk about that if I don't run out of time. So let's get this set up. I'm trying to think what I want to do. Oh, I want to change this to Teams, and I think that's it. Actually, going to publish it so it can be live. Let's see. Okay, so it did break. Let me just comment that out for right now until. So I like to get to like a working point here, even if it's, there we are. So that's what I want to get to, because I want to see the page get built up. I'll come back and revisit the SEO-matic thing. It's not actually anything to do with SEO-matic, it's just that the field isn't available. All right, so here's our base landing page. So now I am calling that render HTML method on it for Visi, but it doesn't know where to fetch any of the block templates because I haven't defined them yet. So I'm going to go in to each block, start with a tagline, and we're going to create the templates and then define them. So we'll go in here, and I'm actually going to do it in terminal because I can't see that extra slide out in PHP Storm. So where am I here? Okay. All right, everybody sees that? Okay, good. So I'm going to go into Visi templates. In landing pages, CD. Templates, CraftQuest landing pages. Can it go in there? Weird, didn't autocomplete it. Okay, I'm just going to just quickly create these this way. So we'll start with tagline.twig. So here's the deal: is that you can name them whatever you want because you're defining the path and the name of the template. But I like to, if I can, name them the same as the handle. Features list and call out box with image. Twig, so it should be 345, right? Yep, okay. All right, so now I should have all of these. Now I can go in and define them in Visi. So we'll start with the tagline here, here at the block. And I can just say tagline. This probably needs to be Reloaded. Grab it. There we are. So landing pages, Vizy templates, tagline. And then features list is there. So now I'm telling it when it's time to render this block, use this template. Primary CTA button. Video embed. And call out box with image. There we are. Save that. Now let's go back and render and see what happens here. Nothing. Okay. My templates. Entry. Landing page contents. Render HTML. Oh, thank you, Jens. Gosh. It's so funny, there's a little bit of a delay from me and then when it's broadcast out. So I'm sitting here thinking, great, thank you. That's definitely the first time that's ever happened. Not really. All right, so let's do the content. This is actually going to go really quickly since there's nothing like specific here. So call out box with the image. So this is my, this is the markup for it. And I'm just calling headline text. I think these are all still the same. And then image one URL. And these are all done within the context of the landing page content field. So let's try it. See what happens. All right, cool. There it is. So this is our first block rendered. Caroline says she's never done that. Yeah. All right, so we have that one. So let's do the features list. So this is the one, you don't have to sit here and watch me type all this either. But this is the one that is the matrix. So I'm just looping over the feature list. And then in order to get access to since I'm using SVGs here as they're like SVG files, but I want to embed them into the page, is that I'm using the SVG function from Craft, where I can pass in the icon inline, and then and this all comes from icon picker, and then I can use the attribute filter to add a class. So I can get I needed to get a Tailwind class on there. And this is where, you know, like Tailwind stuff kind of drives me crazy when you get into that, but it worked. The feature name and the description. So I think I have all my naming. I try to keep it all consistent with what I had before. So it just worked. Let's see. Excellent, there it is. Okay, so now I am going to go into here. and add a feature. Of course, now I don't remember what the features were called. One billing account, maybe discounted plans. Let me pull it up real quick on the main site. You want to remind yourself what I'm building. It's craftquest.io/teams. Here we are. All right. Easy team management. In the feature description. And then the icon here is a plus person, add person. There it is, add. That's the filled one. So I'm curious. Okay, cool. So it renders that. So there we go. It's going to be a little with my resolution that I have set here. There we go. And then measure progress. And then for this, it's a chart going up. And then discounted pricing. And then a $sign, which is outline. All right. Excellent. So there, now I've built that. So I have to do my CTA button still has to appear here. Let me just close the preview and publish that. And we add in my my other markup here. So our CTA button. So here, this is the one that was a table, or that is a table. So I'm just setting it to just the index is 0 just to get the first and only row. And I'm just accessing the button URL and the label. And that should work as well. There we are, get team plan. And now we're just missing our video. Let me grab that markup. Oh, I have a tagline too I need to get. All right. So there's the video. And with the duct video, you just do video.embed and it generates the embed code and everything. You don't have to mess up with anything. The only thing I had to do was just add in, I had to use an aspect ratio plugin for Tailwind, just to get it. It's 6:9. Save that. And let me get my tagline one as well. This is just the tagline. Okay, so if I reload here, bingo, we didn't get it. So variable tagline does not exist. All right, cool. So I missed something here. What did I call this? I must have made it a different name. So tagline block. Tagline. Let's try that. There we are. Okay, so now we got our tagline and our video embed, which works perfectly, plays. And then our call out box. Now, just like we could do with other similar types of fields, I can go down here and let's say I wanted to add another features list. And I could see myself adding like a headline for a features list or some sort of title. Let's see, free live streams for your team. Andrew will spend 12 hours per week live streaming to your team. Ooh, typos. Come on. There we are. Feature icon. What should this be? Video. There we are. So let's save that. And so that's going to be down here. I'm going to add a whole nother section with additional features. I could add another. Oh, wrong field. I could add another CTA button. Get a team plan, or different name. Maybe I'm testing button names. Enroll your team today, or get immediate access for your team. There we are. So a real straightforward build for using Vizy. One of the things that I haven't worked on yet here, and I was talking to Josh about this yesterday, or today for him, is this free-flowing content here. Let me just put it, we can just put it up top. So this here, if I save that, one of the problems I was having, and it's actually, it's not really, it doesn't have anything to do with Vizy itself, is that because of how Tailwind resets the styles for everything, that it resets all of the styles for all the common elements, for all elements, paragraph tags, unordered lists, ordered lists, is that I wanted to have, like in Tailwind, what I've used in the past is the prose, the typography plugin, which gives you that prose class, which gives you really easy styling of prose like this. But that requires, if I remember correctly, it requires having it as on the class on the wrapper div. Now I can access this on its own, and I can add a class to this node or block, but I can't do it like above. Like I can't have like a template just for that. So I was talking through that with him, and it's just one of the things. It's more to do with Tailwind resetting my freaking styles. But that's one thing that I haven't dealt with yet. I want to make this so I can, like, if you think about it for blog posts and stuff, I wanted to make it so I could add in freeform content and wrap it and have it all just, flow nicely and be styled. So that's the one thing I'm going to work on. Let me just pull up. I didn't hear any beeps and boops on the chat, so sounds like any questions, you can drop them in the chat. I'm going to remove this piece here. But that's really it. So I'm now ready to replace that landing page with this. I'm happy with this. Need to get rid of this feature though, because that's Andrew will not spend 12 hours with your team. Get rid of the whole block here. Here we are. I do like the idea of another button down there though. So there we are. That's our Vizy powered landing page for craftquest.io/teams. If I look at what Jens asked, if I notice any other drawbacks with Vizy, I really haven't, but this is the only thing I've done with it. So this is kind of like one of my first look live streams here, where I'm just kind of getting used to it. I will say that, Verbb made Feed Me, and then they transferred that to Pixel and Tonic, and I have a lot of trust in their ability, and even if you check in Discord, Josh Crawford chimed in and said, we always want to make sure that there's always a path forward for our fields, whether that's into other first party fields or anything like that. So if because I'm always concerned about throwing a site's worth of data into a third party field. It's usually the last thing that I want to do. But I think used selectively, you could definitely use this for blog posts and stuff like that. I'm probably going to stick with, I use whatever the markdown what's the name of the markdown plugin? But anyway, you could use it for blog posts and stuff. It really depends on how much content you want to throw in there. So I don't have a problem using Vizy for this use case here. Let me just look at the comments. So I don't really notice any drawbacks. There's a couple UI difficulties I had. You saw one where I couldn't get the plus button, but I know they're working on stuff and making it better. And then being able to having a way with those paragraph and unordered list and ordered list nodes to be able to have somehow have more control over the rendering of those. Joe says he's thinking about taking the Vizy plunge on a personal site. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing here. He asked, is there a way to create a Visi Field definition and easily copy it to new projects? That's a good question. I mean, you can see it's in, it's all in project config here. So, I don't know. Does anyone know what the approach there would be? Yeah, Andrew says she likes writing her articles in Markdown. I do too. I write everything in Markdown. And we can leave. And whatever this field is called, I don't remember. But yeah, I like to use it too, because I write in other tools. Obsidian, I have hundreds of thousands of words of content in Ulysses. I have entire multi-day courses in there. So I like it a lot. Is there a field to select the config? Jens asks. I'm just kind of looking through the docs. I'm not as familiar with it yet. So the only difficulty you might have with copying things from project config to project config is the UIDs. And just getting since those are all generated files. I haven't done that, so I can't speak to it. All right, so Vizy, it's cool. Check it out. See what it does. Oh, Jens, start a new Visi field. There's a config setting. Hang on. I haven't done that yet, so let's try it. We'll just go into this one I already have. See if it's there. Editor configuration. So that's for that. Is this what you're referring to? believe that's for the actual block configuration, though. I think it's only for the toolbar. Yeah. Would be cool to be able to move them over, though. So we'll drop that to ask Josh about that. All right, so I guess my next step is then I'm just going to I'm just going to scan over my files here before I commit. This is all good. I'm going to stage everything and added fields and plugins for new landing page. Uses Vizy plugin. Uses icon picker plugin. New section. Landing pages. New fields to support a landing page. And commit. And there we are. I'm going to leave that in a feature branch for right now until then I'll close that feature and get it into develop. And then once I have my license, I will get that up on the site. All right. Anyone have any questions? I have just a couple minutes before I have to head out. Thanks everyone for sticking around so long. Thanks, Jens. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for not heckling too much. I didn't even see any heckling from Andrew. He must have fallen asleep. I do believe he usually naps around this time. All right, everyone. I'll hang out in the chat for a few minutes as I wrap up. But thanks for tuning in. Check out Vizy. And then I'll be back live streaming. I'm not sure if I'll be back before next Thursday when Andrew and I do CraftQuest on call. But if I am, I'll shoot everyone an email and post on social. Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, Joe, Caroline. Just going to finish this feature. Get it merged in. Joe says it's hot there. It's actually not that hot here today in Texas. Let's see. Maybe it is. 88. That's not that bad. Really humid though. We've had a ton of rain in the last week or so, and it's just max humidity right now. So I have that all ready to go. I'm gonna push that up. So when I push up to origin, push develop up to origin, that kicks off a deployment on served. So I'll be able to go check it out. See how that looks. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot. See you next time.